recording this.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about this CVRG, okay? That's what I brought this router.
Meraki.
Yeah, that's the Meraki.
System.
So when you see the CVRG, right? So if I see the CVRG and I see the Meraki, and I see one cable connected to here. Okay, what is this telling me?
The CVRG is on bridge.
Okay.
But it could be a mixed mode, no? It could be a mixed mode. You can have Wi-Fi on the CVID.
That's the thing. So I see the Meraki connected, and I see on the front of the CVIG, I see 3 lights. And maybe I see switch 2, switch 1. What is this telling me?
You have internet.
Yeah, we have internet.
Okay.
So we have the CVIG, we have the 3 lights on the front of the CVIG,
Okay.
You
Wi-Fi.
know. And then we see one line going into Meraki, one connection, and then the other line going to just a switch, and from the Meraki there's another cable going into another switch. And this might go a lot of cables, right?
That is a mix.
That's mixed mode. So what I mean, so basically, how many ports do we have behind the CVIG?
8 ports.
8 ports. So this is connected to port number 1, for example. Okay? Meraki is connected to port number 1, which is on which mode?
Mixed mode.
No,
The port 1 is on bridge.
on bridge. Okay? Bridge. Then
The
this
rest-
is connected to port number 7, whatever. Okay, and then goes to the switch. So port number 1 is on bridge. What about the rest of them?
Mix.
Router mode.
Routing mode.
Router mode. Okay, so the rest of them, all the port from 2 to 8, router mode.
DSCP protocol.
Okay, so pay attention to when you go and you see the CVIG and this light is not active, which is the Wi-Fi, and then you see only one wire going to the Meraki and then switch and all that. It's for sure that's a bridge. This is on bridge. Alright, and then you go in there to do what? To swap in the CVIG. So what do you have to do in there?
Put back on the switch bridge mode.
We're on bridge mode, and then everything should be fine, right? Do you need to they have the static IP address. Do you have to do anything with the static IP address?
No.
What is the static IP address in here? This is not in there.
If it's
So
in the bridge mode,
Yeah.
it's on the port 1.
It should be on the right.
No. This is not in there. This is just on the CVIG is completely on bridge.
It's on the right.
So where is the IP address? The public IP address. Where is it located?
On the CBIG,
This is on bridge. So when it's on bridge, it becomes just the modem, right? So where is the public IP address located? Where is configured?
through the Meraki to the CBIG.
Okay, but where it has to be configured the static IP address? For example, I don't know, 20.1.4.90.61. Where is this IP address configured?
This comes from Meraki.
Meraki. So this IP address has to be configured on this Meraki,
This Meraki,
on
right.
this interface, maybe 1, number 2. this interface. Okay, usually Meraki have many ports, as you see.
Right.
This one, this model in particular, you can have many LANs. So you can have many LANs connection, not one. Only have one connection and then many LANs connection. But there is another Meraki that you can have ones or LANs. It depends how you want to set it up, right? Just to make sure to keep that cable on the same port that it was, because if you change the port to another one and this was configured on one number one, then you put it on one number two, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So basically what you have to do here is just put the CBIG on bridge mode, swap it up, and connect everything the same way. This is on bridge, so you can put the cable on any of these ports, doesn't matter. But if you see that there is another cable in here and the Wi-Fi is on, and there's a Meraki connected to port number one, that's pretty sure it's on mixed mode.
Which is gonna work the same, isn't it? No? It works the same way, isn't it? Simple.
It works the same way, but what happens if you put this cable on port one?
That's not gonna be working.
That's not gonna work. That's why you have to be careful
The IP address
not to
won't allow
touch
him to
port
work.
one, because that's where the port one is designed to bridge. The IP address is not there, it's just bridging.
The bridging, right?
Just bridging. It's just bridging port number one. The rest of them are working as a regular router, as a CBIG. So, why I explain you this? Because the question that you have, what happened when the customer had that problem that they don't understand if the problem is on us or the problem is on them? Right? So basically they have an issues in here. Oh, my Meraki is not working, and I'm like on Atlanta and I can't communicate with this Meraki. What I do? What's my troubleshooting steps if they have an issue from the beginning? That's what they're telling me. What should I do?
First, we have to check the CBIG or the modem to see if
We
you
have
have the
internet.
internet or
Okay,
not.
what do you do in the CBIG? You got your laptop, right?
Right.
Okay, what do you do in the CBIG?
That's what we have to check, that there is internet connection, yes.
You
or
check
no.
if you have internet on
Right.
which port?
Port one.
On port one. But you see it this way, right? So you detect that this line here.
Yeah, this light is not there, that's means it's
Not
not
there.
a bridge mode.
It's on bridge mode. So
Right.
that's the first thing. You detect this probably is on bridge.
Bridge, right.
Probably, we're not saying.
Right.
Because I saw it sometimes it's not there
Right.
and it wasn't on bridge.
It's not
Yeah,
right.
so that's a good idea. You see only one cable coming out from the CBIG to the Meraki. That's a second way that you can detect that's on bridge, for sure. Okay, then how do you test what's the problem? Or how do you test that the cox is or is not the problem?
Then you have to look the static IP
What do you do with a static IP address?
to check routing, like go on the configuration to make sure
Computer?
that yeah, with the computer
And
the
then
static
what
IP is routing or not.
Okay, so you get this cable, or take out the cable and put one cable into your laptop, right?
Right.
Set the static IP address, put it into your laptop, and test it, right?
Test,
You
to
have
make
internet.
sure, right.
You have internet, what do you do, customer?
That's Meraki, your system need to be configured or.
Needs to be configured. So that might be that this IP address
Panama, Atlanta.
is not configured on this Meraki.
Meraki.
That's why they're not able to access. Because they are trying to connect to this IP address, but this IP address is not here. So that's why they never reach the Meraki. Once they configure the Meraki and this is plugged in, it should be good to go. But you as a cox, you have to show them on your laptop that this IP address on port one, it is working. If it's totally on bridge, on any port, doesn't matter. But if they have the Wi-Fi and everything, make sure they have the same configuration. Keep in mind that we can do mixed model. You don't need to call cox to do that. We can do. On the platform, we can choose which port put it on bridge and which one we're gonna keep it as a router.
So he has to do it, we can't do it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
chose
this
Call Herbert, in best view, in Herbert just let it know which port you want it on bridge, or the customer want it on bridge, and then he's gonna put it, save it, and it's gonna reboot, it's gonna work.
Let's make sure that, like, all the points of contact, you know, the main important ones, you know, that know about the issue are aware of it, you know, that way we avoid them calling COGS and be like, hey, you know, it's still not working, then we go back and
all
explain
this,
it.
all this, so you guys
Yeah.
save time. You're not talking too much with the customer, and they're not even understanding what are they doing, because usually the customer is on site and they have an IT company taking care about their servers and their stuff.
Right.
But if you test this and the customer is still not understanding, hey, let me talk to your IT guy. Right? Hey, IT guy, what's going on? What do you need? Hey, it's not working. I just tested the IP address on my laptop and it's working fine. Which port do you want me to plug in? I found it on port 1 of your Meraki. You want me to leave it in there? Oh, yes. Okay, I'll put it in there. If it's still not working, they have to change it. Sometimes this Meraki has an LTE connection, you know, cellular connection.
Yeah.
So they can get it, even though with this one is not working, they still can get into the Meraki using the LTE connection, right? And then change the configuration, fix the configuration in here, and then because this is gonna be the primary connection, this is just a backup for the Meraki, right? So they can do that. But we won't get into the Meraki and change the IP address.
Right.
I mean, it's not difficult to be honest, but it's what we should do. Just to keep things clear on what is our problem, what's their problem. Alright? What else do we see on CBIGs and do you guys have issues?
But
CBI is simple because CBI is just one flavor. Always on bridge.
the only way a static IP should
Sorry
change.
to finish with CBI. Remember,
There's a dual.
you can use the second port for the second IP address, and that works.
Now,
I saw it many times, I tested, and it works. Okay?
does that, does that affect it? Both the second one too?
Yeah.
Because
It's not that it's active or COX need to update. This is how the device works. Basically, this. For example, I have 3 IP addresses and I have this modem. If I plug into the switch, I can use all these 3 IP addresses on this switch because it's a switch. But I have 2 ports in here, so I can use the second IP address here. I won't be able to use the third one because there's no ports. But I can use the second one. Alright. Just tell them to the customer if they wanna use it, use it. It's gonna work.
okay.
So what was your question, Julio?
No, I mean the static IP configuration on the Meraki. If anybody has treated the Meraki firewall, how they can just, I mean, it needs to be reconfigured
It needs to be reconfigured.
because the only way the static IP can change is if the nodes change.
Good point, man. So we wanna see many issues or trouble calls where the system of the customer is down because the IP address is being updated. They change it. Cox is upgrading their network to a fiber. They try to do as much fiber as they can. They changing nodes for that. That's why they're getting new IP address to the customers, but they're sending emails to the customer like 2 months, 3 months prior, letting know, hey, we're gonna change the IP address because we're changing nodes. Please make the arrangement with your IT provider, whatever, to send the static IP address, this new IP address, and they send the IP address and everything. So you have to tell the customer. You might have it even before. I mean, the Cox saying you, so you might have that. So they should know. The problem is that they ignore those signals, and then when the swap is made, the problem is there. So basically, they need to change this new IP address now. This new IP address with the new node has to be configured on this because they changed it.
Right.
This one is now longer in there. But how can you see that? Dr. Herbert? do Herbert, check on CS Connect. Okay. We can assign new IP address as well, so we have access to SOC.
Yeah, that's what I'll be using. So we see
This
the
is the
IP
platform
accounts.
where we can get new public IP address. SOC.
I can see what's
He's got
assigned on the
access.
account though, not what's assigned on the equipment.
We can provide. Remember before we had to call Cox to get new IP address and all that thing? Now we can do it. We can get IP addresses and give to the customers. Right? Now, I saw that you guys struggle when the customer has 7 or 10 IP addresses. No? Right? A public IP address. Alright.
Yeah, well,
Usually, when the customer has that, you're gonna have it like this, right? That's the main one. What is the next? I would think. They have 7 IP addresses.
11. Now they have, I mean, sometimes they have that 100,
Different subnet.
and then it says slash.
I'll explain you what is the slash. Okay, what's the next one? They got 7.
Well, 13.
Julio?
Yeah, all the way to.
All the way 2021. All the way.
Go all the way, man. 17.
Okay.
Enough.
Okay, to 17, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And then you're gonna have a gateway. What do you think is gonna be the gateway?
31.
No.
No.
31. So on this one, I think it's very easy to know which one is
Oh,
gonna be. Which one is gonna be the gateway?
One.
Yeah. Probably it's gonna be 1. Probably. Because usually it's the first IP address, the lower one. Because maybe the IP address start on 100.200.31.210. Okay? That's the first usable IP address. The gateway is not gonna be 1. The gateway might be, I don't know, 190 maybe. Right? Because basically these IP addresses is a group, a subnet, with 10 or 15 IP addresses with a gateway, and that's where the slash something comes in. Sometimes you see 28, right? Or you see 24, right? So let me show you what is that about. So when you see this thing like 231.10.28, and then you see the mass that maybe 240, right? Right? This is telling you how big, this 28 is telling you how big is the group. It's not telling you that it has 28 IP addresses. It's not 28. It's telling you kind of how many IP addresses you can use on that group. The same thing with this. Basically what this is counting, this IP address, I don't want to go too deeper because I'm gonna maybe confuse you guys, but this is just binary language. It's just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is binary. So how much I have in here? 8 plus 8 plus 8. How much is 8 plus 8 plus 8? 24, right? Okay. See these points? How much I have here? 28, right? How much I have here?
24.
How much do I need to get 28?
Four.
More.
1, 2, 3, 4. This, the rest of it, 0, 0, 0, 0. Each IP address, this code is called octets. Each one of these represents 8 binaries or 8 bits. That's why you see 8 in here, 0.8, 0.8, 0.4. Because I got 8, 16, 24, 28. The rest is zeros. Why is zeros? Because this is the network, and this is computers or hosts, basically. So basically, this is the size of the group of IP addresses that I'm getting. This is what it means with the 28. I don't want to go too deeply, but this is what it means. It's just a binary counting of how many. A computer has a logic to communicate, and that's what the IP addresses represent. It's just binary.
So that 100 is the first octet.
Yeah, it's all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 because basically this binary is this thing. It represents this. It's the same thing. This is hexadecimal and this is binary. This is where it represents. So when you know this, you can calculate how many IP addresses you can have on this device. And why I have 28? Because I got 28 it goes bits on because that's what it has a binary language is 1 and 0s.
Yeah.
Binary language. Nothing else. 1 and 0s. That's why you see the 28. Yeah. Alright? I don't want to go deeply because it's too much, but it's just to give me an idea of what is it. Okay. So now when you have this is called subnet, okay? This subnet, what you do is basically you configure the first one, for example, on your computer, and then test the internet, it works, and then configure the second one, just to change the 10 for the 11, and then test it, it works, and then the third one, test it, it works. If the third one works, the rest of it should work. That's what you have to do when you have many IP addresses. Just test 2 or 3, show it to the customer. We have it last week, right? Just 2 or 3. This customer has 2 subnets, remember? Has this, and then have another one with different one, like I think it was 68.108.10.20. So different subnets, see? Totally different. But it works. But usually you want to see it like this. They are basically on the same group. Nothing else. It's like testing one IP address, but just many. Alright? Question?
Yeah. What is the difference between public and private?
Private and public? Okay. So
I mean, in terms the public is already assigned, but how can you assign private static IPs and make it
work?
make sense?
Yes, of course. So public. Give me an example of a public IP address. And give me an example. A public IP address.
68, that 128, that 105, that 16.
05, that's 16. Perfect. Okay, give me an example of a private or local IP address.
192, that 168, that's
It's
0.
learning. Well, 68, that
0.1.
that one. Another example of a private IP address.
168, that 1.1, no?
Dot one.
So private always starts with the 192.
Yeah, always you're gonna see this. 192, 168. That's why you don't need to remember too much because you're always gonna see this. This is called type C. Type C private IP address. Comcast, they use 10.0.10. Whatever. This is type 8. This is a big IP address. You become more computers here located. And also there is 72.0.10.0. This is class B. This is the most common type C. You're gonna see it everywhere.
Yeah,
Alright?
those two is like
Everywhere.
Right.
So you can, what is changing here? Only this, only this. This is always representing computers, and this is where it represents the network. It can be 1 and 2, one number. 2 what?
54.
On the gateways. That represent the gateway, right?
On the, what is the function that gives IP address to the computers? What is called?
Assign protocols.
No, what's the function that the routers does to assign IP address to their host or clients, computers, phone, whatever that you have in the
Switch.
network. No, the function that the router has to assign IP addresses to the devices.
Devices to the
WAN,
one.
WAN or
No, what
LAN.
it does to give IP address to the devices. But how is that called?
there is a name you call it.
Yeah.
When you plug your
Big
computer, you get an IP address, right?
Assigning IP.
How do you get that IP address? Who is doing that?
From the DHCP protocol.
DHCP. DHCP. So routers has DHCP. DHCP is a function that basically has a pool of IP address from one star, for example, it's gonna be 2 because the 1 is from who?
The computer one.
No, 1, usually the 1 who belongs to the first IP address.
For the router.
For a router.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna use that one because that's
Yeah,
his
that's
route, his
right.
IP address. So it starts from 2 and to one number.
254.
254. So the DHCP knows that he wanna give IP address from this to this. When saying when in the same subnet, right? So yeah, that's all. So that's your question. So this is private and this is public. This one doesn't work on the internet, remember. These are the one that goes to the internet to communicate on the internet. These are only located where?
Where is it out?
Inside.
Local network.
Local network.
Local.
Local network.
But it seems the IT guys assign IPs. They're not public. They're not private. It's something they create.
Yeah.
They make it work.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Exactly. For example,
Like so.
No, I'll put it there so it goes to the local. You can search it, look for the.
Yeah, this one you can turn off like this. So
Make their noise.
okay, Ali,
yeah.
let's get this down, man. Okay, he got a question. So we have a router. This is the segment that we're using. This IP address belongs to him, right?
Yeah.
And the DHCP server is gonna start on 02 and it's going up to 254, right? And we have 2 computers and 1 printer. So these 2 computers are gonna request IP address using DHCP server. So they're gonna get anything, like anything within this software, right?
Yeah.
But they are gonna be able to print on this printer. Okay? But in order to print, they have to know what IP address they have. They can change. It doesn't matter if they change the IP address tomorrow and the next day. No one is getting anything from them. But they are getting things from the printer services because they need to print, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set a static IP address 168.0.100 for example. So when they wanna print, they're just gonna type, what's the printer IP address? Oh, it's 100. Blah, 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 100. Oh, okay. It's gonna print. But what happens if I put it on DHCP? And this, today is 100, today they print. And tomorrow when they power off and power on the printer, it's not 100 anymore, it's 102. And they wanna print. And they have on their file that the connection was 100.
It's not gonna do. They're
Not
gonna
gonna
find
reach
the
it.
address.
It's not gonna reach it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why I always,
guys,
good,
it's hot from the microwave. Come
It's
on.
good, it's good. So that's why you're gonna keep it static here on the printer, so they can reach the device, always.
But every printer it has to have assigned a different static.
Yeah, of course, different IP address. No, there's no, this IP address can be repeated.
Cannot.
No, if you repeat the IP address, there is a conflict. Because for example, this printer has 100, and another printer has 100 as well, which I don't think is gonna happen. And they're gonna print. Which one is gonna go? This one or this one?
But you have to assign the IP address on the
Of
computer.
course. But
On the computer?
it won't be let you do the same one because it's gonna tell you, hey, there is already one with 100.
But if they want to print in the same printer at the same time, they cannot
They can print on the same time here.
in both printers? No, or
Both,
not?
but this one has to have a different IP address.
But they have to change it on the computer.
On the computer, they have to set, they have 2 printers, each one has different IP address, and they just print.
But you have to do it manually on the printer?
Yeah, usually you do it manually. I mean, you go on the computer and then add the printer using the IP address, and then it's gonna communicate.
Not on the printer, but on the
No,
computer.
on the
That's
computer.
gonna be.
It's the same logic for POS,
For the POS, same thing.
same thing?
Of course, POS has the same thing. POS need to communicate. They have clients, clients, and they have the POS server. The server has to have a fixed static IP address, so the clients can communicate. Not the client, the one that's gonna purchase. I'm talking about the POS clients. Gonna communicate with the server all the time. If the IP address change, when you guys this one has Verizon, right? And then you guys come with Cox and then swap the modem without changing the IP address that they had before, these guys won't communicate anymore. Because you guys changed the modem,
The gateway.
the gateway, and remember Verizon used 1.1, right? In Cox, what is static IP address use? Or local IP address? 0.1. So when you plug it in, connection broken. That's why we have a lot of complaints. See, that's why it's important to check, hey, what's static? Usually Verizon is 1.1, but you can check, make sure. And then set the 1.1 on the CBH, and that's it. You plug it in, nothing is gonna happen. Everything is happen.
But you must have access to the.
You don't need to have access to their POS. You just need to configure the CBIG.
CBIG, you have to log into the CBIG.
No.
And update
Yeah.
the DHCP.
But if you're a different provider, before you swap it, you need to get access to the.
Yeah, you plug your computer into their router or modem, this provider, and you're gonna surf the internet, right? But you're gonna check what's the IP address that you're getting, right?
Right.
And then you're gonna see, they're using this IP address, and then you put the same one on there.
No, I mean, if you don't have the credentials,
But you don't need to have the credentials.
to log into the
You gotta put
third-party
it on the
device.
router.
Remember, okay, this is the one that they're using for the POS, and you have to replace this one. They're not gonna use this anymore. So, but I don't know which IP address they're using. So I'm gonna get my computer. I'm gonna plug it into this, and I'm gonna be able to use the internet, right?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm gonna check. Okay, which IP address this guy is getting? So I go to command prompt, IP config, and I got the IP address. I don't need to get into the configuration. So once I got the IP address, I just put the same on the CBIG and then plug it in.
Mhm. Through command prompt.
Yeah, to command prompt. Command prompt is very, very useful. Okay? That's it, man.
Alright.
That's it.
Por orden de estatura.